There arrives a juncture when all sensations seem absent genuine any longer as you traverse through existence akin to an ethereal presence, yet absent vibrant yet unmoved. Interactive yet disconnected from all that you once cherished. The experience is devoid of substance, as the flavors of the food diminish significantly. The discussions diminish in significance. Elements that previously brought you happiness now merely resonate with a subtle recollection of vitality, and then even that diminishes. This is not depression, is not merely a state of apathy. It is a profound condition that encompasses much more. The emptiness that ensues after the disintegration of your delusion, and be assured a spiritual awakening commences with disintegration. You are not experiencing enlightenment. You are experiencing a void. This is the aspect that remains unacknowledged by many. Describes the segment concerning the illumination has not yet manifested in accordance with your convictions. Disintegrate, yet nothing emerges to take its place. The place where the former existence has ceased to thrive, yet a new one has yet to emerge. You remain steadfast upon the remnants of your identity's embrace, extended murmurings fading into quietude. Who am I now? Yet silence remains unresponsive. Initially, it observes, it remains patient, it unveils. This represents the demise, preceding renewal, exploring the profound dissolution. And should you find yourself present in this moment, if you have experienced this, an overwhelming void reminiscent of an expansive arid landscape, an expanse of arid land extending infinitely within your understand this, you are not broken. The awakening of the soul does not ascend without first undergoing a process of hollowing. Carl Jung cautioned, there is no arrival at awareness devoid of suffering. What I intended to convey was that one does not merely traverse effortlessly. You are drawn into a state of awareness beneath each deceptive stratum, beneath each navigate through each narrative you once deemed significant. I and what remains are not insubstantial. An elation, yet the vastness is both daunting and hallowed. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, one perceives the profound void that surrounds you. Emotion is not a deficiency. Rather, it constitutes the realm in which your deceptive persona once thrived within the confines of the ego. The identity you developed to navigate through this world has relinquished its hold. And now you confront the emptiness it harbored. Are you too preoccupied to recognize that the void is the threshold? Yet it lacks the sensation of transcendence, manifests as a sensation akin to numbness, similar to exhaustion and apathy. One awakens, rise, and experience a void as you navigate through your day unfolds in a nebulous manner, reminiscent of the elements you once utilized. To pursue acknowledgement, affirmation, gratification, success no longer possesses the same flavor, even. Affection may often appear remote and unattainable. You remain connected to others. You are detached from the iteration of one who once engaged in pretense, and this disconnection holds a profound significance. You, however, do not embody that essence. When you lose yourself, you forfeit what you possess. Were never intended to embody the void that exists is not the absence. Rather, it is the presence of tranquility. It represents the instant when the intellect can no longer divert your attention and the heart can no longer deceive. This is the moment of truth, when one is ultimately solitary with that, which what is genuine is not invariably what it seems. It is a profound realization that the truth is you were never instructed to confront your own essence in quietude. We're instructed to execute, in order to attain, create, to satisfy, to transform into an end. Individual others might find acceptable. And now, within the unrefined essence of awakening reveals that you have existed for the benefit of all, but one the individual who required your presence the most was, in fact. Your self-realization does not arrive accompanied by joy. Accompanied by sorrow, spiritual awakening manifests as it is not a celebration. Rather, it is a solemn occasion of mourning. Entomb the delusions you lament, the squandered years pass, as you find yourself at the grave of your former self. Contemplate the self and question whether it was ever truly to be truly alive is to engage in a relentless inquiry into the very fabric of your past. Your purpose, your position within the broader context of existence, observe the surroundings, and note the individuals who remain in slumber, perpetually pursuing illusions. And you find yourself envious of their allure due to the comfort of sleep. It was indeed restful. Simple. Yet at this moment, you find yourself alert, and there is no return. This is the essence of enlightenment. Experiences that have yet to enrich your existence. The reality is that you are simply devoid of deceptions, and within that intermediary space, therein an expanse in which certainty eludes grasp, the essence of quietude, articulating thoughts that resonate in the depths of understanding. A forgotten language, a symbol of dreams, quietude, and until you recollect how to pay attention. There will be moments of disorientation, moments of uncertainty. You may ponder whether something is devoid of substance. There's nothing amiss with you. You are traversing the hallowed. The passage that exists between your former self and your current identity. You are evolving. You are transcending your former self. Provoked by sound, you are no longer enticed by external diversions. The world has ceased to fulfill your expectations due to your essence is guiding you towards introspection. Are cultivating an inner source of nourishment, however, acquiring the knowledge to nourish your own spirit thereafter, a lifetime of sustenance derived from the external. It is neither simple nor swift. It is devoid of discomfort, yet remains essential. The profound void accompanying the experience of awakening is not an indication of inadequacy. It serves as a signal that the outdated paradigms are ultimately fading away, that the conditioned self. The persona of Jung, frequently characterized, is disintegration, and what follows should not be hurried. It requires careful consideration. Insight emerges from the abyss as the self seeks understanding. The essence seeks tranquility, and within that, in the absence of noise, one starts to perceive the potential that lies within. Do not perceive prior to the commencement of recollection the identity imposed upon you by societal expectations versus your true self existed prior to the world's intervention. One begins to recollect the young individual who perceived wonder in all aspects. The visionary, the individual who experienced emotions with profound intensity, inquired excessively. Cherished with utmost sincerity, the child did not perish. Rather, they were interred. Underneath the strata of execution and the present, the excavation commences. Yet it commences in the obscurity. Within tranquility evokes a sensation that the world will perceive as a state of despondency, as indolence, as separation. Yet you shall possess the understanding. You will come to understand that something the ancient is stirring within you, and akin to all matters of significance, emerge quietly. Thus should you experience a sense of emptiness or a lack of vibrancy in your daily existence. When your nights seem prolonged, refrain from fleeing. Refrain from distraction. Avoid self-neglect. And remain seated. Within it lies the abyss you dread. The truth you pursue requires contemplation. Engage with it thoughtfully. Punishment perceived not merely as suffering, but as you are maintaining a solemn watch over your own evolution, of which you are the observer. The demise of the illusory and the emergence of what constitutes reality is akin to the essence of all births. It is indeed disorienting. It possesses a raw quality. The journey of spirituality is not adorned with riches, is laid bare in quietude, fractured by mourning and illuminated solely by the wavering illumination of your own inner understanding, and that understanding cannot be derived not from literature, nor from educators, not even from the early works of Carl Jung did not provide us with a destination. Rather, he offered us a cartography of the uncharted realms within. He revealed to us that the psyche constitutes a dynamic and vibrant system that must traverse the shadows to discover it is illumination. He imparted to us the understanding of what we repress does not vanish. It lingers, it expands, it torments, until we possess the requisite strength to confront it. And now you are confronting it in the quietude of your existential void. The shadow commences to awaken not as an entity that, like a reflective surface, reveals the entirety of one's being, the aspects of your being you relinquished to embrace the affection that arises from the anger you have repressed. Embrace the sorrow you consume to exist, the truth you forsook in the name of safety. One encounters oneself fragmented in this space, and this marks a pivotal moment. This is the juncture at which the majority of individuals tend to retreat into diversions, engaging in performance with a focus on the spiritual evading. They seek elevated experiences. They strive for fulfillment. Masters shroud their apprehensions in the enigmatic. Linguistics, however, you have opted to remain seated, the unrefined pang of void, and remain unyielding to perceive the subtle echoes of your own essence responding from. The emptiness persists, yet I remain present within it. The instant the void starts to transform, neither to disappear nor to mend, but to transform it instead. An extended duration resembles an agonizing demise. It evokes such a sensation, the vastness of space, an expansive openness, a hallowed sanctuary location where authenticity can ultimately expand. Yet development is not as Jung knew is. Concerning addition, it pertains to the concept of integration. You are not present to transform into another individual, you are present to collect the components of. You abandon the child you once were, the rebel, the lover, the mystic. The fool dismissed the silence. You have arrived to reclaim your completeness arises not from flawlessness, but it is through the concept of wholeness that the essence of wholeness emerges. By embracing the void, it becomes the origin of your forthcoming transformation. Yet refrain from anticipate a sense of satisfaction. Yet do not assume it will be guaranteed. One should not anticipate the spectacle of fireworks or the resonance of celestial voices. Immediate realization of enlightenment is not of the Netflix series unfolds as a prolonged, deliberate exhalation, a deconstruction of recollection, an unraveling of a decline profound to the extent that one loses the path to return, for there exists no path of return, only forward progress solely within. And in that introspection, as you embark on this journey, you start to observe various elements around you. I had not encountered this previously. Do you observe how you utilized it? To elucidate, in order to achieve comprehension, observe how you concealed the pain. Behind a smile, one observes the manner in which one has occupied oneself. Refrain from confronting your reality in solitude at this moment. One cannot conceal the truth. The weight of the facade is simply too burdensome. The performance is excessively insubstantial that you desire something genuine. Not merely in others, but within one starts to engage in a different mode of listening, engage in less verbal expression, and immerse yourself in deeper emotional experiences. The world transforms. More serene and vibrant. You cease to overindulge the moment you begin to engage with it, and gradually and imperceptibly, the void engenders creation. To existence not merely as a condition of engaging in actions, as a means of embracing a deliberate pace, raw and unrefined. Yet confidently present, begin to perceive that you are not solitary, not in the manner of individuals, but in the manner of a profound essence, an undercurrent, a rhythm, an inner awareness that observes and anticipates the self. It was referred to as whispers of youth, the organizing principle of the psyche, the exalted nucleus that encompasses the disjointed essence, starts to unify to the self, remains composed, neither raising its voice nor making demands invites, and its invitation consistently represents the returning to the same place, yet it offers no solace. Home embodies truth, and once you experience it, the essence becomes undeniable. It undermines all that is not in harmony. That is the reason you experience a sense of emptiness. For the reason that what previously nourished you is no longer present more aligned with your essence, you become transcending the confines of your own misconceptions. You are discarding an existence constructed upon superficial identities rather than foundational connections. Thus, one finds oneself in a state of mourning, lamenting the aspirations that once held promise, that did not belong to you. You mourn the iterations of your existence that lacked authenticity, mourn the connections that were only understood your mask. This grief is not a sign of weakness. It is a profound expression of the human experience. It serves as the portal, the essence articulating. I am prepared to experience all that I once fled from, to transform into all that I truly am. And when you permit that, when one relinquishes the apprehension that once held sway the void, you begin to acknowledge that you understand that the silence does not signify to the absence of something. Signifies its presence. Amidst all that you previously silenced, it exists. The realm in which clarity reemerges, intuition becomes more acute in the realm of the psyche. Integrates, and you cease to hasten it. Allow it to consume you. Permit it to shatter you. Allow it to cultivate a novel essence within yourself you cannot yet articulate, but you are aware that it is indeed. One can discern authenticity, even in the absence of overt evidence. It eludes explanation, as it stems from a profound source. Within you no longer seeks liberation. You've ceased to implore for the alleviation of suffering. You have begun to pay attention to what the affliction arrived to convey, that alterations ensue. Initially, everything presents itself with a certain nuance as you awaken. Awaken and acknowledge that you are not imposing present yourself as anyone with whom you engage in conversation today. Proceed at a more measured pace as the necessity has diminished permeate the atmosphere. One senses a profound melancholy in absence, experience anxiety, as you come to realize it is merely an additional whisper emanating from your essence, urging you to let your voice resonate. This is the culmination of the void, devoid of joy, lacking in ecstasy, yet sovereignty is no longer within your grasp. Your emotions have led to a disconnection. Through your contemplation, you transcend limitations. Revolving around another's conception of your identity, you have returned to a state of equilibrium, and the focal point remains as Carl Jung once articulated. The most daunting reality is to acknowledge one's entirety. Nevertheless, this represents that the essence of enlightenment lies not in self-repair, neither to rise nor to transform into another improved, yet to fully engage with what you are already, and do not flee from, do not allow your chaos to evade your desires. Do not shy away from your beauty. Do not retreat from, do not allow your anger to escape from the void within you. As one comes to understand, this void is this emptiness hold a profound significance. It serves as the vessel for deeper understanding, is the fractured vessel into which the self emanates its serene brilliance. Thus, for the initial moment, you cease the endeavor to occupy it, cease to obscure it with distractions. Simply cease, presenting it as though it were a malediction. One begins to honor it not through mere expressions, but with your readiness to maintain an open disposition when it might be more convenient to withdraw. Maintain your gentleness, even as the world imposes its demands upon you. Fortify oneself to uphold integrity amidst the multitude of facades. Have you ever donned the subtlety of whispers, urging one to conceal once more? Yet, you no longer conceal yourself, because the individual who once felt the necessity to conceal themselves now moves freely. The performance you have encountered, the individual responsible for the boudoir, of the individual who remains unaltered when your mood fluctuates, while another remains constant. Contract when your existence disintegrates, the singular who refrains from demanding attention because it has already identified the individual referred to by Jung as the self, referred to by mystics as the divine unity. Children possess an innate understanding prior to their designation, and it now resides at the core of your being, not as an idea, Yet it embodies a profound understanding, a comprehension that one cannot unlearn, a knowledge that shapes former distractions, leave a bitter aftertaste. Understanding that transforms your previous existence. Inconceivable to revert to, thus you mourn once more due to the absence of communication. Such an awakening would not be accompanied by solitude, would it? One cautioned you that awakening would deprive you of solace. Prior to providing you, it is evident that no one indicated what the expense would entail. All that exists, and still, you would not exchange it for any matter. As you have glimpsed beyond the veil you have encountered, what constitutes reality, you have grasped the essence of your own being and declared, "I shall never forsake you." Once more. And at this moment, even the void resonates. Appreciate affection, but not in a romantic sense, not in the transitory, pleasure-seeking nature, yet the ancient, the sort that observes the phases of your existence without effort, alter them to the type that secures your quivering hand when you experience emptiness at all, and articulates, "Remain by my side." This as well eases you embark on your journey of self-discovery. You gradually cultivate a sense of trust. It is the quietude, the tranquility, the profound longing. One starts to perceive that there exists a certain quality of shifting beneath the exterior, neither swiftly nor resonant, yet consistent. It does not seek to amend, it endeavors to render you complete, and wholeness transcends the notion of perpetual emotional experience. True wholeness is fundamentally rooted in the pursuit of honesty. Sufficient to experience the entirety of the sorrow, the contemplate, the trepidation, the yearning, the void, each aspect revered, intertwined with the essence of existence within that consciousness. One ceases to inquire of the world to mirror your value. You cease imploring the clamor to affirm your reality. One ceases to rely on external validation, what is transpiring within. As you now observe, are you aware of the nature of this emptiness that resides within you? Understand the significance of this discomfort. You are aware of its origin. This path directs, yet it does not direct to paradise, does not serve as a means of evasion. Guides you further inward to the unwavering and ineffable. Intangible core exists, there's an absence of deficiency, for there was never anything to lack, that ever absent, merely overlooked, solely entombed, merely anticipating your return. This is that the truth is often too burdensome for many to endure, not due to its nature harsh, yet due to its tranquility. There is no trumpet heralding your arrival, no document affirming your renewal, merely this enduring and formidable presence, expanding in the vicinity in absence once existed, unnoticed by all. One experiences it. And in the manner your reactions have changed significantly. One becomes aware of their triggers prior to their manifestation, engulf you to the extent that you cease to forsake your true self, merely for the sake of acceptance, the manner in which one reverts to their breath, rather than plunging into disorder that is influence. Yet not of the conventional variety. The world does not revere that which is not constructed upon the image of domination or the presence of noise. This constitutes the strength of a grounded spirit, the strength of an individual who has endured the flames and acted. Do not waver in the presence of an individual's strength confronted their own. Void and found it encompassed the entirety of Carl Jung's work stated. Only the paradox holds any significance. Approaching an understanding of the entirety of existence presents a paradox that you are currently navigating. You embody a paradox of emptiness and profound fullness in your loss. You have paradoxically acquired all that truly matters. That is significant. You're no longer the person you once were, and yet more authentically you than you have ever been. Have you ever encountered this enigma? Often awakening disassembles you in order to reconstruct your essence. It envelopes you in silence to impart wisdom, to articulate from the depths of your being. It departs from you solitary in disclosing that you are never genuinely distinct, and thus you commence a new knot, through a strategy rather than through domination. But with you no longer compel your presence, embracing your true self permits you to transcend limitations. Hold fast to the significance you establish. It is yours alone. No longer dread the void you traverse within it, reminiscent of a grand cathedral. For you, it is understood that this is the current abode of the divine, neither in the heavens nor within the pages systems, yet within you, within your quietude, within the tranquility of your essence, indeed, a serene affirmation to this hallowed development. The world may remain oblivious to what you have, having experienced various challenges. They will recognize your composure and designate it as tranquility. And they shall perceive the strength and the absence of the softness it once possessed, originating from their perception of your quietude, and it conveys meaning beyond the limitations of verbal expression. You may come to realize that you certainly will understand that awakening is not a mere illumination. The transition occurs gradually. The flame will reveal that emptiness existed. It was never your adversary. Rather, it served as your instructor. One will understand that suffering does not signify the conclusion of a journey, serves as an entryway to profound understanding. One shall understand that the essence of the soul remains ever present. It has patiently awaited this moment for you. To cease performing, to halt running to. Cease the pursuit of solutions in others. Accept yourself. And now that you have made your return, now that you have acquiesced to embrace the void rather than resisting it, unveiled the enigma of the void, it was not the lack of meaning. Rather, it was the invitation to manifest that you're not no longer pursuing a life, you are embodying one from the innermost essence to the epidermis. And that represents the most profound reality. You now understand that you were never truly broken. You simply were, merely entombed, accompanied by each tear and every moment of quietude, each pang within the depths of your existence. It was not a failure. It was an expression of your essence. Emerging once more into the light, you are not devoid of emotion, experiencing a profound renewal. You are now prepared, neither due to a sense of certainty nor for any other reason you experience a sense of strength. Yet it is due to your recent realizations. To experience authenticity is sufficient.